Hey guys, what's up? It's Miss Sonatore. I'm in my backyard again, enjoying yet again another beautiful day. We are so lucky to live in an awesome state with such good weather. So I'm back to continue with our Jigsaw Jones story. Remember, it's the case of Hermie, the missing hamster. If you think back to yesterday, we read chapters 1 and 2 where we met Jigsaw Jones, who's a detective, and his friend Mila helping their other friend Wignut, who lost his pet hamster named Hermie. Now their one suspect right now is Jake the Snake's pet snake. Do you think it was the snake? I don't know. Let's read chapters 3 and 4. I am so excited to see what happens. But before we start, I always like to start with a great big hug from my home to yours. All right, here we go, friends. This is chapter 3, called A Matter of Life and Death. On Monday morning, I was standing in the rain under a bright pink umbrella. Don't laugh. I couldn't find my Batman umbrella, so I had to borrow my sister's pink one. But those are the breaks you get when you're the youngest. I've got 3 older brothers and an older sister. People say it's easy being the youngest in the family. Well, I've got news for you. People are wrong. If you are the youngest, you get bossed around. You never win a fight. Your brothers call you Worm and Shorty, and your parents make you wear baggy, hand-me-down clothes and borrow your sister's pink umbrella. At school, I sat in Miss Gleason's class, room 201. There were 16 kids in our class, including Mila. It was an okay day for a Monday. During science, we learned about the seashore, and for social studies, we studied Christopher Columbus. Monday was also an art day. I got to draw whatever I wanted. It came out pretty good. Mila and I got our chance right before lunch. It was time for desk work. Miss Gleason was grading papers. We walked up to her desk. Miss Gleason, I said. Miss Gleason looked up and smiled. Yes, what can I do for you two? We really need to learn about snakes and hamsters, I said. Miss Gleason put down her blue pencil. This sounds serious. It is, Mila answered. Very serious, I whispered. It's a matter of life and death. Miss Gleason put her hand over her mouth. Her eyes got wide. Oh, goodness, she said. Can you help us, I asked. Well, I'll certainly try, she replied. Miss Gleason looked at the clock wall. In her loud teacher voice, she said, Class, lunch is in 2 minutes. Please put away your projects and line up along the wall. She looked at Charlie Malone, goofing around with Mike Radcliffe. Miss Gleason suddenly looked tired. She pushed her hair away from her face. Without hurting each other, she said. Miss Gleason turned back to us. Well, she said, I can think of a number of ways you can find out about hamsters and snakes. How about you? I thought of one, I said, asking you. Miss Gleason smiled. That's a start, Theodore. How about you, Mila? Mila answered, well, you could look in a book or maybe talk to someone who knows a lot about those things. Yeah, I said, like an expert. Excellent, Miss Gleason said. One of you can go to the library, either here at school or in town. I'm sure a librarian could help you find so many wonderful books. You might also want to visit the computer room and try searching the internet. My mom can probably take me to the library after school, Mila said. I frowned. What about me? Well, Theodore, Miss Gleason said, it looks like it's your job to find an expert. Oh, brother, I always get the dirty work. That's the end of chapter 3. Let's move on to our last chapter of the day, chapter 4, called World of Reptiles. Our plan was set. After school, Mila went to the town library to read books about snakes. It was my job to visit a local pet store, World of Reptiles. We decided to meet back at my house in an hour. There was only one problem. I needed a ride. Fortunately, my 16-year-old brother, Billy, had just gotten his driver's license. He always jumps at the chance of borrowing my mom's car. Screech! Billy slammed on the brakes in front of the pet store. He told me he'd pick me up in 10 minutes. Make it 15, I said. You got it, Jigsaw. Billy was my favorite brother. He was the only one who called me Jigsaw. My brothers Daniel and Nicholas were tied for second place. My sister Hillary came in last. I know it wasn't her fault, but I was still unhappy about the umbrella. World of Reptiles was a dark, stuffy little store. There was one customer inside. He was a skinny man with a leather jacket and black boots. Behind a counter sat a dark-haired woman. She smiled at me. She had a snake tattoo on her right arm. Can I help you? She asked. Just looking, I said. Reptile tanks and cages lined the walls. This store had every kind of weird animal you could imagine. It had skunks, ferrets, Gila monsters, box turtles, and talking parrots, even monkeys wearing diapers. It also had snakes, lots of snakes, small, skinny ones, and very, very big ones. I stopped in front of the biggest cage. It was glass, about 10 feet tall. Inside there was a yellow python thicker than my leg. It was curled up in the corner. It must have been 30 feet long. "What does he eat?" I asked the lady. She pointed to a large metal cage. I looked. It was full of rabbits. "He eats bunnies?" I asked. She nodded. I glanced at the cage again. Poor little fuzzballs. Another customer went up to the counter. "I'll take 6 mice," he ordered. He left. I went up to the woman. "I didn't know people kept mice as pets," I said. "Oh no," she answered. "They aren't pets. The mice are food, snake food." I gulped. "Would a snake eat a hamster?" she explained. "A snake would love to eat a hamster, but people buy the white mice instead. They're cheaper." She came around the corner and led me to the cage. Inside were 2 rosy boas. 2 weeks ago," she said, pointing at the tan snake with a reddish tip on its tail, "this slippery rascal got out. In the morning, I found him on top of the hamster cage." "Did he eat the hamsters?" I asked. She shook her head. "No, they were safe. The hamster's lid was on tight." She pushed the wired roof. It didn't budge an inch. "Can hamsters escape?" I asked. "Sure," she said, "but only if the lid isn't on tight enough." "But how do they get out?" I asked. "Can they climb glass walls like Spider-Man?" "No," she said with a silly laugh. "They jump and hang on to the edge. Actually, it's pretty amazing." I thanked the nice woman and headed to the door. I'd seen enough snakes to last me a lifetime. And that was the end of chapter 4. I'm excited to see what happens in the chapters to come. Make a prediction. Remember, a prediction is something we make. It's like an educated guess. When we have some facts, what do you think is going to happen? Make your prediction about where is Hermie. Sending you a great big hug. Enjoy this beautiful Tuesday, and I'll meet you right back here tomorrow to learn more. Have a great day.